Good morning. My name is Ariadna. I'm from the Market and Support team, and today I'm going to introduce you to the EPD portal. The portal is our platform used to create, manage, verify, and publish EPDs within the international EPD system. The purpose of this webinar is to help you understand both the EPD development process and how the portal supports that process from start to finish. So today's session is divided in different sections. First of all, I'll give you a short introduction to the 5 steps on how to create an EPD. Then we will look at the different user roles and responsibilities in the system. And after that, we'll go through how to get started in the portal and how to navigate the platform. The second half of the session will focus on the actual EPD workflow and how to create, register, and manage updates in the portal. And finally, we will share some links and upcoming activities. And at the very end, we will have a Q&A session. So please feel free to ask questions throughout the entire session. You will have an icon here at the top which says Q&A. So just drop your questions there and we will take them at the end of the session. So before showing the portal itself, I would like to explain the 5 steps to develop an EPD because it's very important for the EPD development journey. So the portal is designated to support this process, and an EPD is not just a document. It's actually a structured process involving several stakeholders and several steps. So the first step is actually selecting the PCR applicable to your products or services, and actually you can find those PCRs available in the PCR library. If you have any questions about how to select the most suitable PCR for your product, you can actually reach out to us at any time and we will support you. The second step is conduct the LCA study based on that selected PCR and applicable standards and our GPI. The third is compiling the EPD in the EPD format because that is a structured way to present the data. And this step is crucial and it's the one that it's mainly in the EPD portal. The fourth step is the verification. So the verifier will revise both the data and the methodology around the EPD to ensure that it's compliant and credible. And the last step will be the publication of your EPD in our EPD library. If you have any questions about all these 5 steps, a couple of weeks ago, my colleagues conducted another webinar where they went deep into the development process of an EPD. So you can check it out, or you can also reach out to us. So the important thing to understand is that the portal supports this entire flow, and it's not just a publication platform, it's the working environment where users can collaborate during the different stages of the EPD. So now let's start. I would like to start introducing you the different roles that we have in our system. So first of all, we have the EPD owners. Those are the ones that will be the owners of those EPDs, and they have all the rights within the system to create, edit EPDs, and update them in the future. They are the ones that can register EPDs, and they can manage the entire EPD process. Secondly, we have the LCA practitioners. Those can be in-house or outsourced. They have access only to those assigned EPDs, and they can edit the technical content of the EPD. But as I said, only EPD owners are the ones that can register the EPDs and create new EPDs. And lastly, we have the EPD verifiers. Those are the verifiers we accept in our system. They go through the verifier application, and they also have access only to those EPDs that are assigned to as verifiers. They will review all the documentation, verify the EPDs, and send it back to you for final publication. And I would also like to introduce this role, which is the key account manager. So basically, the key account manager is that person that is creating the organization in the system and can manage all the accesses, can approve requests and such in the system. I'm going to show you how this role is assigned and how can be reassigned to another person. So let's start. Now I'm going to show how to create a user in the system. Yes. So the first step, I'm going to come here, would be like, how do I access the portal? So as you can see, this is our website, environdeck.com. And here at the very top right corner, you have EPD portal. So by pressing this button, you will go to our portal. Yeah, this is the entry page. As a new user, what you need to do is, first of all, register an account. So you can register an account by clicking register account. Here, we are asking you to provide your first and last name, your email, and set a password. Once you have completed all these steps, you have to accept the general terms of use and the privacy and cookies policies. And just straight away, you will receive an email to verify your email. So once you have verified your email, you will be then able to access the portal. So now, after registering, you can log in. So I'm gonna log in. And this is what you will see. The second step is actually connecting in an organization or registering your new organization. And to do so, you need to go under organizations. Now you will see that I have a lot of organizations, but you will have just an empty page. And then you need to click here, create or find organizations. So when you are here, you will see two different tabs. The first one is register an organization, and the second one is find an organization. So as a recommendation, if you are wondering if your company already has an organization, you can just try to find the organization here by typing the organization name, for instance. And I see, oh, I have the demo webinar and a demo registration webinar. So I know the demo registration webinar is the company I'm working for. So I'm just going to request access. And access requested. I'm going to show you where to find these afterwards. But if you are a completely new user and company in the system, you need to register the organization. So first of all, you can choose which type of organization are you, either an EPD owner or an LCA practitioner. Based on the selection, the form will change and you will need to provide extra information. As an EPD owner, here the first section is the general organization information, such as organization name, organization size. This is very important for invoicing purposes, actually. Then you have to also provide your website and your organization email. And just below it, you have the organization address. This information at the very top is the one available in the EPD library. So any type of information provided here then will be accessible when you publish EPDs. And then you will have the invoice information, which can be, the same as previously, or you might have slightly different invoicing details. Something to mention is about the BAT number. So if you define a country that is EU-based, you will need to provide your BAT number. And this is very important because there's like a validation with the BAT numbers. So this means that the system will validate that the BAT number is actually accurate and exists. If your organization is non-EU based, then you will skip this step and the BAT number is not required. Additionally, if you are Sweden-based, we will invoice you in SEK. If you are Europe-based, you will be invoiced in euros. But if you're outside of Europe, you can actually select your preferred currency, which is US dollars or euros. Then once you have completed everything, you can create the organization and you're ready to go. If, for instance, you are an LCA practitioner, you only need to provide your organization information. And then after you are registered, your company will be listed under the LCA practitioner list, and that is available in our website. I'm just going to show it very quickly. So under resources, we have LCA consultants, and then here you can actually see all the LCA consultants registered in the system. And that is important because then this is how you can then help EPD owners with the registration process. So after we are all set, we have registered the user, we have registered the organization, you will then see the main dashboard. So I'm going to go through all the steps, all the buttons, and all you can see right now in the screen. So in the dashboard, it's where you will see the company's EPDs. So for instance, now I'm logged in under the demo webinar, and I have 2 reserved EPDs. So anytime that you want to see the EPDs for a specific organization, you go under the dashboard. Here you can use some filters. And yeah, now I only have 2 EPDs, but if you have more EPDs, then you can just use the filters to sort or find specific type of EPDs. Then under organizations, if you're an EPD only, it's most likely that you will have 1 or 2 organizations. But for LCA practitioners, they have access to several organizations and also verifiers. So here is where you can find all the organizations that you have access to. And it's very simple. You can just type an organization name, and by clicking on them, you can access the organization. As you can see now, I switch between demo webinar to demo registration webinar. Then the third tab is collections. So here you can find collections. A collection is a group of published EPDs. So for instance, if you publish 10 EPDs and 5 of those are connected to the same product family, you can create a collection. So then all those EPDs will be listed under the same page in the EPD library. And finally, you have access to the resources. You can access EPDs, which means the EPD library. So it's a direct link to the EPD library. You also have access to PCRs, which means the PCR library. As I mentioned before, this is the first step of the EPD development process, choosing the most suitable PCR. Then you will also have access to contact a verifier. And this is actually as a recent improvement that we made, that we have added this page here with some instructions on how to contact a verifier and their contact details. So under this tab, you can see how to contact a verifier, and then you can search for approval of individual verifiers. Here you can see the list, and ACBs, accredited certification bodies. So here you can see, if you're wondering, or if you know the name of a verifier, you can just type the name here, so it will pop up in the list. Or if you are completely new and would like a verifier in your region, you can select a country, and then the list will be updated to the verifiers working within that country, actually. And then here you have the contact emails, and you can reach out to them outside the portal. Lastly, we have pricing that goes to our pricing page. So yeah, you understand how much we are going to invoice you for publishing EPDs in our system. And then you can see now administration, but that is something only for us as super admins. Then moving on to this right side, here, as mentioned before, you will have the company name. So all the time you will see the organization that you are looking at. this, I'm gonna actually switch to demo webinar. So when you click on the company name, you will actually go to the settings. And here you will find several things. The first thing you see is the members. This means the users that have access to that specific organization and the role that they have assigned. So for instance, myself, I'm assigned as the EPD owner because I own the organization, I will own the EPDs, and so on. I have myself again as an EPD owner, and that could be a colleague, a person working with you, etc. But I can also be the LCA practitioner, so I can just change my role here from EPD owner to LCA practitioner. And lastly, I have a verifier, which in this case is the demo verifier, and I'm going to show you how to invite a verifier. Lastly, you also have this section, which is invite. So if you would like to invite a specific colleague to join the organization, you can type the email address here and invite it. And you can select internal or external. Internal meaning EPD owner, external meaning LCA practitioner. The second tab is accounts. This tab shows who is the key account manager of the organization. So right now, the manager is myself, and I don't have anyone else in the dropdown because, as I showed before, I'm the only EPD owner inside this organization. However, if you would like to switch who is the key account manager, you can change and assign the EPD owner role to someone from your organization. Go under account again, and now you will find another option, and I can just change who the account manager is. If I go back to members, now the key is assigned to this other email instead of this one. The third tab is settings. As mentioned, those are the details that you have provided in the form when you registered, and these details are the ones displayed in the EPD library. You can actually add a logo type, and I'm just going to show you very quickly where these details are displayed. I'm going to just open an EPD, and here under EPD owner, this is the information that you have provided under settings that is then available publicly in the library. Then we have invoice details, and again, this is the same information that you have provided in the registration form, specifically for EPD owners. So if you have to update these details anytime, you can do so under this section. And finally, you have invoices. So here you will have all the invoices issued to your organization. Now, as you can see, there's no invoices, but they will show up in here once we invoice your organization. Then I'm moving on to here again, right corner, the user icon. Here is where you can access the user settings. So my name, I'm Ariadna, and I'm a super admin, so that's the role I have right now in the system. This is the company I'm visualizing, a demo webinar, and this organization is an EPD owner. So here I have the information. But then here I have user settings. So you can go under user settings and you will have this page. And here you have several things. The first part is my account. Here you can see the roles that you have assigned within the system. I'm, for instance, a super admin and an agent, but I'm also EPD owner and LCA practitioner. And that means I have several roles within different organizations. Here I can update my name, my last name, my email, and my password. So if, for instance, you need to update any of these personal details, you can do so in this section. And then I also have roles around organizations. And here actually I have a list of all the organizations that I have access to and the role I have assigned. So as you can see, as I said, I'm an admin, so that's why I have several roles. But here you can see all these organizations that I have access and the role I have. Then, as you can see, I have this key at the beginning of each organization, and that is because I am the key account manager of those organizations. And that is also a reason why I cannot leave that organization. For instance, here you see that it changed. This means I'm part of these organizations, but I'm not the key account manager. So it means I can leave that organization anytime. So for instance, if you're an LCA practitioner or you're a verifier and you are no longer working for a specific organization, you can leave that organization from here. Then I have also my requests. So remember that at the beginning I sent a request to join an organization. So here I will have a list of all the requests that I sent, and it's still pending. So I have sent a request to the demo registration webinar today, and I can simply remove it if I decided that I don't want to work with this company anymore. And here I can actually see invites. So remember again that I show you that you can send an invite to a user to join an organization. So you can actually see it here, the other user. And I was invited to join the test organization, and I can accept or decline it in here. And finally, we have this section in the portal, which is again coming back to the dashboard, the main part of the system. And here I have quick access to some links. So I have access to the new invites. So instead of going through here, I can also going through here. The new invoice page is something quite recent as well. So now I can access it through here. We also have feedback on the EPD compiler. We have an explanation of EPD statuses. We have the fact sections, and then we have the contact. So if you experience any issues, if you don't know how to proceed, if you are stuck, you can always contact us. And here you have our email address and the help desk, which is, again, also a way to contact us. We have several forms that you can fill out, and then you will send a request to the support team. And finally, you also have the widget. And this widget help button has also a lot of information about the system and how to register an EPD. So you have articles. You can try to find the most suitable article, how to register. Then I have here, how do I create an account? How do I register an EPD with the EPD compiler? So I can just open the article, and then here you will have an explanation of the steps. And I think that's it for now. I'm gonna move on to the slide deck. So once you have an understanding on how to create a user, how to create an organization or connect to an existing one, the next step is create new EPDs. So to create your first EPD, you have to press on that new EPD button. Here, as a note, only EPD owners can perform this action. So no LCA practitioners, no verifiers, only EPD owners can have this new EPD button. So once you click the button, you will have a pop-up, and you will need to decide which type of format you want to register your EPD. Currently, we have two formats. We have the compiler format and we have the standard format. The compiler format is designated only for construction products and is a fully digital EPD. It includes structured data entry, API integrations, and automatic PDF generation. And then we have the standard format, which is more flexible because it supports all type of products and service categories. However, it relies more on manual PDF uploads. So as an important note, after you select a format, this cannot be reverted. So you have to ensure that you are selecting the format that you prefer before using the registration number, because we have seen this issue several times where you are selecting the wrong format, or like you didn't know which format to choose, and then you are reaching out and like, oh, I want to switch between the compiler to the standard, and unfortunately we cannot do that. So please ensure that you select the appropriate format. And then for us, the question is like, what do you prefer, design or digitalize data? Because for us in the future, what we are going to do is to introduce new PCRs into the compiler, because we see that digitalization is the way forward. So now I'm going to go back to the portal and we are going to create an EPD from scratch together. Let's go. So going back to the portal, here I have main dashboard. I'm the EPD owner. I can create a new EPD. And as I said, the pop-up, you can choose between the two formats. And now I'm going to select the standard format, for instance. In the standard format, this is how it looks like. And you have to basically follow the steps. First step, definition. You define the title of your EPD. You define who is the contact person. Here you can add who is the LCA practitioner. As mentioned, it can be in-house or outsourced. So if you don't have the person in the drop-down, you can add it. So for instance, I can select a country, or I'm just, let me see, demo. There's no, yes. Okay, so now I want to invite this test. And I invited the user. So now I have an LCA practitioner assigned. So this is the way you can close this, add invite. You can just find the person and the organization here, and then it will automatically be added here. Or for instance, you can also type the email and it will send an email notification. Then you select the verification type. We have EPD process certification, EPD verification, and if you have a fully pre-verified tool, you can select pre-verified and integrated tool. Then here you also select the verifier. The format is the same as before. If you don't have your verifier in the drop-down, you can find it here. So you can type the verifier name and then add it, and it will automatically be added. This means that when you add someone in here, this user will have access to this particular EPD. And then here you define the PCR, and then you follow the steps. As I mentioned, product information. So you have to just fill out all the mandatory fields. Here you will, for the standard format, you will need to upload your own PDF. So you can actually use, we have a template available in the website, so you can use that one, or you can use your own, of course, always following the PCR and the GPI, because we have a specific structure that the PDF needs to follow. And then you just need to provide the product description, images, geographical scope, and so on. So you just need to follow all the requested details. I'm going to show you now a compiler EPD. So the process is very similar. It's the same, but it's structured differently because, as said, this is a digital EPD. That's why you need to provide more information than in the standard format, because the system will generate the PDF for you. You cannot upload a PDF. So general information, here you will have EPD name, type of product. You just need to follow all the steps. The first one is general information. Here you have different tabs: EPD definition, PCR, LCA, EPD verification, organization information, additional information. Here you go more into product information. So you need to go, and fill out all the mandatory details. The nice thing about the compiler is that you can integrate the tools into the compiler, so you can avoid doing these steps manually. And basically through the API, you can just feed the compiler with all the data and just publish the EPD with just a click, basically, after the tool is integrated. So now that I have these two EPDs, I'm gonna send it to the verifier, because now we are ready, right? We have filled out all the mandatory information. I followed all the steps. So the next step is actually send the EPD to the verifier, and you can do so by start verification. What will happen here is that the verifier will receive a notification. And as you can see now, the EPD is no longer under reserved status, but sent for verification. And here I have an account where I'm the verifier. And now I receive the notification, I log into the system, and I see the EPD. And here I need to check that everything is compliant, it follows the PCR, the GPI, the standards. I'm gonna download the PDF. I'm gonna just do what the verifier does. And they need to upload the verification report here. So I'm just gonna select a PDF. It's too large. Another one. This one. It's too large, no? Yeah, now it's working. Okay, I uploaded the verification report. So now I'm ready to approve the EPD. So it has passed the verification. Now, as EPD owner, you will receive another notification, and the notification will inform you that the verifier has approved your EPD. So now, as you can see, the status changed from sent to publication to verification to ready to publish. So now it's my turn again to log in, go under the last step, which is EPD publication, accept the service agreement, and send it to publish. And here the publication team will receive a notification to publish this EPD. And this can take from 1 to 3 working days. So the team will check the EPD, will perform some checks, will check that the EPD is correct and all the data is correct. And they will define the version date. They will define the validity date. I'm just going to put today. And oh no, I need to put, sorry. Yeah. 5 years. Wait, well, I'm just going to put somewhere here. Yes, now. And now that everything is perfect, I'm going to publish the EPD. And here you will get another notification informing you that the EPD was successfully published. And as you can see, the EPD has been published. Now the EPD will be accessible in the EPD library. So if you go to the EPD library, here you can search, you can use the filters to find the EPD. And for instance, organization name, maybe I should refresh. No, not this one. Organization name. Maybe it's not here. Yeah. Anyhow, it's this one, the first one actually. So here you can find the EPD, demo webinar. This is a test EPD for the webinar. I have this file in this image. Here you find the registration number, the status, version date, validity date, and as mentioned, the EPD owner details. So this is how a standard EPD looks like, and we can show a compiler EPD, so you can see the difference. For instance, this one. So this is a compiler EPD. As you can see, it's completely different. It's a fully digital EPD where all the details are available like this, but you can actually also generate a PDF, and the system generates this PDF for you. And this is how it looks like. It's a standardized PDF with the organization logo type, but all of them have the same structure for readability and comparability, of course. And then I can also mention that, for instance, this EPD has been registered via fully pre-verified tool with an API connection. So if you're interested about the tools, you can also find more information on their pre-verified tools in our website. Now I'm gonna go back to the presentation. Because I have some points that I would like to mention. And those are, for instance, when you are sending an EPD to publication, that doesn't mean that it's going to be published straight away. As I mentioned, the publication team will check that EPD and will ensure that the EPD has all the information required. If the team identifies any deviations or any missing information, they will decline the EPD, and then you will get a notification, and then you will need to initiate an editorial update to perform the changes that the publication team has detected. Then, as a note, if your company belongs to a licensee region, the licensee will perform this first check. And that also means that the publication might be slightly delayed because they will be the ones checking the EPD first. If you are wondering if your company belongs to a licensee country, you can also check our website, and there we are listing all the countries that we have licensees. And the other thing that I would like to mention is about updating published EPDs. So you can update any EPDs anytime. There's two types of updates. We have editorial updates, and those are meant more for typos, or I want to change something very small text-wise, or I want to change the picture, for instance. So you can perform these updates and they don't require verification. So you just logging into the portal, press update EPD, and you can just send it to publication straight away. And then we have the second type, which are the updates that require great verification. And those they go under the flow that I just described. So they go to the verifier again. And those are more as serious or important updates, content-wise or data-wise. So those require re-verification. Then I also added here, need help at the very bottom of the slide. So there's different statuses in the portal. So if you're wondering what each status means, you have this guide that you can click on, and then you will have the description of every status. And then, as I mentioned, we have the FAQs and we have the technical support, so you can contact us anytime. And then to finalize this presentation, we would like to show the upcoming sessions and future collaboration. So we are actually creating a user testing group to test future improvements within the system. So if you would be interested in participate in this group, you can register. If you click here on the slide, you will go to the form. We are also currently conducting a survey because we are improving actually the dashboard. This is the upcoming updates in the portal. So the dashboard that I just described, we will improve the design and the functionalities. So if you would like to provide feedback on that, you are also very welcome to fill out the form available here. And when it comes to upcoming webinars, we have a webinar in 2 days, which is implementation of the CPR and the OPCs, how it affects on the LCAs and how it affects us. So if you are interested in joining, you can also sign up. And lastly, I would also like to promote our annual conference. So this year we're going to India from the 7th and 9th of October. So it's a 3-day conference. We will also be live streaming the second day, the 8th of October. So if you would be interested in participating, you're very welcome to, and you can sign up, and we will be very happy to meet in person, basically. And that was it from my side. If you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A. And I hope everything was clear and I help you understanding more the portal. So thank you. And yeah, I have questions already. Okay. Good morning. Yeah, maybe I see a comment already. Yeah, Sarah already replied. So yes, the webinar is recorded and we will share everything, the presentation and the video recording. We will publish it on YouTube. Second question, can you talk about the copy EPD button? Yes. So I can maybe go back to the portal so you can see what we are talking about. We have these, oh, sorry, I'm not sharing now. Yeah. In the dashboard, we have the new EPD and we have the copy EPD. So basically, you can register more than one EPD at once by using the copy EPD. The only the only challenge is that you need to have one published EPD. So in order to use the copy function, you need first an EPD to be already published, because that published EPD will be the source EPD to create 10 EPDs at once. I'm gonna just test it with you. So we have the copy EPD. Here, copy group name, demo test. How many copies of the EPD I want to create? For instance, I'm gonna create 3 copies. And here the most important part is the source EPD, and I have one published EPD, so I can use it. So that's the challenge with the copy EPD. If you don't have a published EPD, you cannot use the copy function. But if you have one, you can then use it. Here, and then it's quite similar as in the standard format flow. Yeah, again, it can only be used with the standard format for now. You can select the verification type. You need to follow basically the same steps, and all the EPDs will be a copy of the source EPD. But then you can, yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna select some things so you can see how it works. Submit data. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then here you can see the 3 different EPDs and edit parts of the EPD. So of course they don't look exactly the same, but you can just change like test 1, test 2, test 3. So you define the different product names, and you can edit parts of each EPD individually. So basically you can register EPDs in batches. I hope that answers your question. More questions? No? Okay. We still have time, so we can wait for any other questions. If no, then we can just close the webinar. Okay, question about, is the Netherlands PCR for semen available in this system? I don't think I'm the best one to answer this question. but first thing, you can check the PCR library and try to find it in there. If not, you can text us at the support@environdec.com, and then our PCR team will support you further. We have some PCRs that we adopted from other program operators because we have MRAs or MOUs. So we might have it, we might not. As I said, I'm sorry, I'm not the best person to answer the question, but please reach out to support and we will direct the question to the PCR team for further. Yeah. More questions? One more. Good morning. For an EPD process, what documents do we need to upload and where in the platform? Okay, that's a good question. So if you have an EPD process certification, the first step is reach out to us because by default, the only verification type that you have enabled in the system is individual verification. So in order to have process certification, you need to write an email to the support email, send the certificate, and then our team will then enable this option for you. But then the process is eventually the same. The only difference is that we will skip the verification part, so the EPD doesn't go to the verifier individually over and over again. Then you just need to upload the PDF, so the EPD, if you're using the standard format. And then you need to use, in step 3 verification, you need to upload the process certificate again in step 3. I hope that answers the question. We can look into it further if needed, but yeah, that's the regular procedure. Or no? I have my colleague here checking the questions. We don't have more questions for now. So yeah, I think that was it. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. I hope we will see in the future in upcoming webinars in India maybe. But I hope this was helpful. And yeah, as I said, my name is Ariadna. If you have reached out to the support, I've probably replied to some of your emails. And yeah, thank you. Bye bye.